Okay, so now we're in chapter 8. And the first thing we have is this idea called factorial, okay, which is basically an exclamation point, which seems like an odd thing to have as a sign in math all of a sudden, and it doesn't mean anything like what it would mean in the English language. It's not like 3. It's what it means is you take whatever number you're starting with and you work your way backwards all the way down until you get to 1, and you just multiply them all out. So this would be 3 times 2 times 1, and this would be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. You always start with that number and work your way backwards till you get to 1, and you're just multiplying them all. So this one is 6. And this one is 120. And that's about the limit of what I would want to multiply out in my calculator. I can get out my calculator and I can just go like, oh, 5 times 4 times 3. And about that, I'm like, okay, 17 factorial, you want me to do that? I mean, I could, but I don't want to. So fortunately, the little exclamation point is actually on my calculator. All right, so I need it to be in this order. I need to have the 17 on my screen first. So I go ahead and put in 17. And then I need the exclamation point. So I find the word math, and it's on different places on different people's calculators. And mine is like the first column. It's the third one down. Some people it's like a second function, math. And then when I get in there, too much glare. When I get in there, it's all the way over on the right-hand side. It says PRB. And then it's like the fourth one down. There's an exclamation point. So now on my screen, what I got is 17 exclamation points. So then I hit enter. And it says 3.55 something, something, something. And then it says E14. Okay, because obviously the answer is not 3.5. That doesn't make any sense if I start multiplying by 17 and stuff. So what this is scientific notation. This means 3.55 times 10 to the 14th power. Okay, so that's like trillions maybe? 350 trillion, something like that. Anyway, it's a huge number. 0 factorial. Well, that shouldn't make any kind of sense because there's, I mean, how can I multiply all the way all the way down to 1 when I'm starting at 0? So books everywhere, everybody just agrees. They just call it equal to 1. Just in case you ever need it, it's actually 1. The negatives, you can't do -3 factorial or anything like that. But you can do 0 just because someone decided that's what it's going to be. And your calculator would agree with that, but there's no way to follow the formula for that. Now, 14 factorial divided by 12 factorial. I could do all these e to the somethings, but if I just write it out, 14 times 13 times 12 times over 12 times, okay, so after the dot, dot, dot is 11 times 10 times 9 times, and after the dot, dot, dot is 11 times 10 times 9 times. Basically, 12 is going to cancel with 12. 11 would cancel with 11, 10 would cancel with 10, and so on down the line. All this stuff cancels with all of that stuff. So really all I'm left with is 14 times 13. It's one of those problems where they love to give it to you to make you work really hard unless you notice that most of it cancels. The answer is just 182. Okay, so I didn't do the factorial button in my calculator because that would have taken, I'd had all these weird numbers, and if I had to multiply it out by hand, I'd have never finished it. So same thing here. 13 factorial, so 13 times 12 times, and down here, 2 factorial, so that's just 2 times 1, and 11 factorial, so that's 11 times 10 times 9. This 11 and on down is going to cancel with all of that. So all I got on the top now is a 13 times 12. And all I got on the bottom is a 2. So 2 times 1. So that cancels into that. Really, it's 13 times 6. 78.